Hello friends, welcome to CrackGate CSE, and in this series of computer organization, today we'll be understanding what is memory organization. So without wasting time, let's start with the memory organization. First of all, as the name says that here we have to organize the memory. Memory is what? Memory is a component or a storage element which can store something inside it. That something can be an application program or it can be a data. So we can say that the memory is a storage element. So application program is always present in the memory, because whenever we have to execute some program or set of instructions, then these instructions are required to be in memory, right? So this is how it will be a memory. So here I am representing the block diagram of a memory, right? Now this is a memory chip, and this complete memory chip is divided into equal parts which are known as cells. So these rectangles show the cell, and each cell is identified as by a unique number. So here we are having the unique number for each cell, so that we can identify that in which particular cell the value is stored, or from which particular cell we have to read the data or store the data, right? So each cell is having a unique number. That unique number is known as address, and using that address we can enable that particular cell. Now how you will get to know that whether you have to read or you have to write? For that we are having the control signal. So memory chip recognize the control signal to indicate the type of operation, right? So these control signals informs the system that whether you have to read the data or write the data. So a combination of control signals along with the address is known as memory request, right? So CPU generates the memory request to access the program or data from the memory chip. So what will be the format? Along with address you have to send the control signal, because using that control signal the system or the CPU will be getting to know that whether you have to read or you have to write. For example, you can say that it is saying 2000 read. That means go to the memory location 2000 and read the data, right? Now the memory chip are configured is represented as 64K into 8. So this into or this multiplication shows the two division of the memory chip. First is the left hand side division and right one is the size division of the cell. So what is the exact meaning of this representation? These values can be anything. This can be 128, 4, 5, anything, and this can be 8, 16, etc. So how we can represent that? Let us take that we are having the memory chip configuration as 64K multiplied by 8, right? So this 64K shows the number of cells we are having in a memory, like these, the rectangles. 64K tells that we are having 64,000 cells in the memory, where the cell size is 8 bits. That means each cell, 64K cells we are having, and each of these cells are able to store 8 bits into the cell. That means the cell size is 8 bit. Now using these 64K cells we can find out that how many address bits are required to access a chip. Just log this value with the base 2. So log 64 base 2 is equals to 16. That means 16 bits are required to represent the address of this memory chip configuration. So if 16 bits are required, we have to write like 16 zeros and so on, 16 zeros up to 16 ones. This is the possibility of the range. This is known as address space, right? So the address space in hexadecimal format is 0000 to FFFF. FFF means F represents the set of 4 ones. So in hexadecimal we are having a set of 4 binary values. So each F represents 4 1 and each zeros here represent 4 zeros. So what is this generalization? So we can write it as M cross N, where M is nothing but number of bit addresses that cell can hold, and N is nothing but N bit data that each cell can hold, right? So this is what, this is the memory chip configuration. Now let's quickly move on to the one more important thing, which is notations. So these notations are also very important. You need to have idea of what is bit, what is nibble, what is byte. So bit is nothing but a single flip-flop, we can say, where the value can be 0 or 1. It will be either on or off. This is just like a switch. A nibble is a collection of 4 bits. A byte is a collection of 8 bits, and the word is not having any fixed size. Word length is something which is processed by the CPU. So the word length that a CPU can process at that particular time is known as word, right? So these are the general representation of notations in binary, and this is with respect to size, that 1 KB is equals to 2 to the power 10, which is 1024. Unlike the decimal value, in decimal value 1k is equals to 1000, but here 1 KB is equals to 1024, which is 2 to the power 10. Similarly, 1 MB megabyte is equals to 2 to the power 20, 1 GB gigabyte is equals to 2 to the power 30, 1 TB is equals to 2 to the power 40, and 1 PB, I think this is petabyte. So 1 PB is 2 to the power 50, right? Now we understood that how the CPU make the request. Now we have to exactly find out what goes inside, how that particular address will be processed. So this is the address logic design for the same. Initially we will be having a 16-bit address register. So that address will be given to the address decoder, where it will be converted from n to 2 to the power n, and the respective line, whatever the value we are having in the address, that respective line will be enabled, and then we will be moving on to that particular cell to access the 8-bit data which is stored in that particular cell. How? Let's see. See, the CPU generates the man memory request like this. So this is the request 0001 read, right? That means we have to go to this particular cell, we have to enable this cell, and we have to read the data which is written over here. So initially what will be there? 0001. So these address will be by default present in the address register. These address register are used to store the address. Now this is in hexadecimal, right? What we'll be doing, we'll be converting it to the binary. That means 0000, 4 zeros again 4 zeros, and then 0001. That means 15 0 and 1 at the MSB place. This will be fed into this address decoder. On the basis of these values, it will find out that which particular line is to be enabled. So when this information is present inside the address decoder, it will find out the value of this. Here the value of this is 1. That means this D1 will be enabled, and when we are moving to the D1, we got to know where the respective cell is. We will be enabling this cell, and by using this control signal, we got to know that we have to read the value. So first it went to the address register, then to the address decoder, then the respective chip. Here I am considering that it is 64K by 8 chip. That means each cell will be able to store 8 bits. So I will be accessing the 8 bits by using this read signal. We know that we have to read. Then there will be a line out of these all cells, and using that will be reading out the value. So this is how you can access the data, and similarly you can store the data as well. So in CPU the data is represented in binary format. So referential units used to refer the binary data. So these are the referential units, like 8-bit microprocessor, 16-bit microprocessor, 32-bit microprocessor, and n-bit microprocessor. So in 8-bit microprocessor, bit is always fixed of one unit, and the nibble is of 4-bit, and byte is of 8-bit. But when it comes to word is what? The word length of the CPU, that is the number of bits that CPU can process at a time. Here it is a 8-bit microprocessor. That means the CPU will be able to process 8-bit at a time. Therefore the word is of 8-bit. In 16-bit microprocessor, the CPU is able to process 16-bit at a time. Therefore word will be of 16, and same it can increase as per the processor word length, right? So based on the data stored in the memory chip, memory configuration is named as bit addressable, nibble addressable, byte addressable, or word addressable. So this will be given in the question, that which particular organization they are using. And so I hope you got a bit of idea about everything, and in the next video we'll be understanding what is byte addressable, what is word addressable, right? And along with that we will be also discussing some basics. So those basics will be the default nodes. So there I am having some important points to discuss along with the word addressable memory and byte addressable memory. Along with that we will see what is little endian mechanism, what is big endian mechanism, along with the block diagram of memory chip. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Keep supporting, keep learning, and in case if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel and make sure you press the bell icon so that you can get an update whenever I am uploading any new video. So thank you very much for your time. Like this video if you find it useful. Stay blessed.